Hello guys, welcome. Today I have this great video from this white liberal who tries to frame Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens on white privilege but instantly regrets it. Let's jump straight into the video and watch.
That
Okay,
if,
that's
if,
fine,
if your
but that's
argument,
not-
if you're
that's not
asking
addressing
me,
my
it
point.
seems
You're
like
just- that's a what about
it
argument.
seems
You
like
just addressed something
you're
else.
no. I just responded.
Does
You
it
said
have
it was a
anything
dialogue.
to do black people leaving the South and going to inner cities and other
He just
parts of
answered
the
that
country
question for you.
have anything to no? I said, does it have anything to do with the KKK,
Very little to nothing.
lynchings,
Yes.
and violence in the South that black people face?
So what it has to do with is the fact that black people continue.
Answer my question.
No, if-
Very little to
you're-
Does
nothing.
it? Yes or no?
Very
You're
little.
not allowing
Answer.
me to listen. You're not going to be like you're not my boss.
You
So
guys
don't
do the
tell me
same shit.
don't
You
tell me
guys
how
talk
I
over
have to
people all the
answer
time. I
your
was just
question.
over there with
Okay,
you shutting people down.
nobody's intimidated from you telling me how I'm
I'm
going to
not
answer
trying
your
to
question.
intimidate you. I'm
You're
trying
not
to have
going
an
to
honest
cut me off.
conversation.
Okay.
No, I'm
So
trying to have an honest
why don't you
conversation,
stop?
which you
Why
guys
don't you
do
stop
not want to.
exercising your invisible white privilege and let the black girl talk for a second? Okay.
Was there ever a point in history where white privilege did exist?
No. Yeah, I suppose when we lived in a country where if you were black, you were not allowed to go into certain places, right? I suppose you could say again, and I guess that wouldn't be white privilege. You would call that Nordic privilege in the progressive era when there were signs that said Irish need not apply. So that's a different. That is white on white, a lack of a privilege. Of course, there's examples in the history of the world where you would have been privileged if your skin was white, especially in this country and in other countries as well. But today, no, white privilege does not exist.
When did it end?
Over time, beginning with the civil rights era, it's not a particular incident or moment, but multi-generations, the country became significantly less racist. I would say after Reconstruction, after the Civil War, after, when we had desegregation, fought the Democrat institutional racism, we fought back against the KKK, when the Civil Rights Act was signed, when blacks were allowed to participate in Major League Baseball, the National Football League, the National Basketball Association, serve an elected office, all those things, contributed to the end of what used to be privilege in society, white privilege.
You said less racist. Is it still somewhat
No,
racist?
do you just have questions? I think.
No, you said you wanted a dialogue. We're having a
Oh, okay.
conversation.
No.
It's the least racist country in the world.
No, America is not a racist country today.
Is it still racist? So
No.
when did it end?
No.
There's certain.
You can't answer the question.
It ended when it's. It
bombarded
ended.
I just
no,
did.
Okay,
No, you didn't. You said less
I will
racist.
answer.
I'm
I'll
asking
answer.
when
I'm
did it
answering
end?
you.
Thank you.
When it stopped being systemic, when there stopped being laws in
Yes.
place that stopped
That's
me
a
as
great
a
answer.
black person doing what you're able to do as a white man.
No, I'm not asking that. Systemic racism is not simply that issue.
Yes, you just asked
about
me to
the
define when it stopped being, when this
What about
country
what?
stopped being racist. That's the answer.
When?
That I can't give you the exact date and time and hour. I'm telling you
Give
when.
me the decade.
What do you mean?
Mid-1970s.
Yeah,
Mid-1970s.
yeah.
So mass incarceration affecting black and brown communities disproportionately
Because they
to
committed
their population.
more crimes.
They
Yeah,
committed
well,
more,
yeah.
As to why? Why did they commit more crimes? Is it
Because
they
we
were
ripped
black,
apart
or
the
was it
family.
because
It's
of their
not-
economic situation?
It's
I'm
absolute-
not fucking talking to you, dude.
Why don't wait? Come. Why are liberals so angry? I can't figure out why
I'm
you're
not a
angry. Why are you
liberal.
angry
I'm not a
right
liberal,
now?
so stop assuming my political
Okay, well, you
affiliation.
just
Definitely not a
came out of
conservative.
nowhere and just start cursing.
No,
I
you
think
invited me up here,
I
raised
think-
my
I
hand,
know,
and
but
you
I'm
said,
saying
"Please
you
come
just
up
turned
here."
around and
No,
you're
stop
cursing
trying
at
to change
someone.
the-
Why don't you calm down? It's just a conversation.
perfectly calm. I can
Nobody,
curse
you
while
don't have to
being
turn
calm.
around and curse anyone behind you.
Sure. He was cursing, no class. Angry, no self-control. Obviously, typical Democrat there. Yeah, it's crazy, And it's a perfect example, really, of the Democrat liberal thought, ask questions, but not interested in the answers. How sad. Well, let's continue watching the video.
I can.
You're
It's
okay?
a free country, right?
Okay. No, but I'm saying that it's not necessary to have this dialogue for you to
Necessary.
turn around and be angry. I do always remark, and I am going to suspect that you are liberal because right now you're trying to sell me
I'm
my own.
not liberal.
You're
I
selling me
just
my own
said it.
oppression, so that's a very liberal
I'm not
stance.
liberal.
Usually, when a white man stands up and tells me that yes, this is a racist country and is oppressed, they do tend to be liberal. Only liberals try to sell me my oppression.
I'm not.
But okay, I'm not going to assume your
Thank you. Thanks.
political ideology. So here's
Yes, I do.
I mean. to answer your question for me, when the system stops being racist and there's nothing stopping us, and you brought up the prison rates, and you said something that was actually really important. You said it's because their communities have been economically depressed. So that would not be because of the color of your skin. That's economic privilege. If you ask me whether or not I believe in economic privilege, I would tell you yes. If you ask me whether or not I think that somebody born into a family of billionaires will be afforded more privileges in life than somebody that is born in the projects of Chicago, I would say yes, because economic privilege in this country does exist. But there is no law in place that is stopping a person because of the color of their skin from gaining that economic privilege, which is why I do not believe that white privilege, which is based upon the color of your skin, exists.
Is black poverty and white poverty different? Do
No.
they face different?
No, poor is poor.
That's a lie. White people are more likely to be in rural poverty, which is different than urban poverty.
That's because black people don't live in rural parts of America.
What?
That's because black people don't live in rural parts of America.
Why? Historically, why? Why did black people flock?
Because of Lyndon Baines Johnson, urban planning, central planning, great society, where he said, we are going to verticalize the black community, destroy the black father, introduce drugs in the late 1960s, subsidize single motherhood, which used to be 22% in the 1960s, which is now 73%. Only a government program could make something like that happen.
Did it have anything to do with the lynchings in the South and the hostility towards black people in the South?
Well, first off, you say...
Is there any reason why they left the South
just
for that reason?
Just so everybody knows, literally not half, but 1/3 of the people that were lynched in the South were white Republicans. So Republicans were being lynched in the South as well. So let's not pretend that
okay, that's
if
fine,
your argument, if you're asking me, it seems like you're no. I just responded.
Does it
said
have
it was a
anything
dialogue.
to do black people leaving the South and going to inner cities and other
He just
parts
answered
of the
that
country
question for you.
have anything to no? I said, does it have anything to do with the KKK,
Very little to nothing.
lynchings,
Yes.
and violence in the South that black people faced?
So what it has to do with is the fact that black people continue.
Answer my question.
No,
Very little to
Does
nothing.
it? Yes or no?
Very
You're
little.
not allowing
Answer.
me to. Okay, listen, you're not going to be like, you're not my boss.
You
So
guys
don't
do the
tell me,
same shit.
don't
You
tell me
guys
how
talk
I
over
have to
people all the
answer
time.
your
I was just
question.
over there
Okay,
with you shutting people down.
nobody's intimidated from you telling me how I'm going to
not
answer
trying
your
to
question.
intimidate you. I'm
You're not
trying
going
to have an
to cut. You're not
honest
going to cut me off.
conversation.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to have an honest conversation, which you
Why don't you
guys do not
stop
want to.
exercising your invisible white privilege and let the black girl talk for a second? Okay.
That's nice. No, this has nothing to do with
Okay,
that.
so to answer your question,
So white privilege
everything
exists.
that you're talking
Wait.
about- I said invisible white privilege.
Does it exist
I
then?
said invisible white privilege. If you listen,
Of course it's
okay?
invisible.
So
White privilege
first
is
things
not a
first,
tangible
white
thing.
privilege does not exist. Economic privilege does exist. Okay. If you're asking me, do I think the black community has been crippled economically? The answer would be yes. It has been crippled economically by Democrat policies. You just heard
Who
me
cares
say that
who
in
does
there.
it?
I
Democrats
care,
are
because that's
Americans.
how-
Who is this guy? I mean, who does this? This is a grown-up guy, who think it actually makes sense, just to come up there and go up there in front there and just embarrass himself. Who does that? Are people that free? I mean, I just can't fathom this. I mean, literally, he is so free. He has nothing else to do in his life. Nothing else. He has to just go there and try to, prove some point, whatever his point is trying to prove. Then what? Okay, let's say maybe he succeeds in trying to prove some point or something, or maybe to him, he's saying, let me go there. I'm going to destroy Candace Owens. I'm going to destroy Charlie Kirk. Maybe he does that. Then what? What does he get? What do you get? What does he gain? I just can't. This is so. I mean, I can't understand. If it was maybe some college if it was a college student, someone young, maybe, they're still young, Maybe it's fun for them, to be posted online, on YouTube, maybe it's fun for them. But this is a big guy. No, you don't expect such a behavior from that guy, from a guy of that age, How sad. Anyways, let's watch the video further.
Economically, the answer would be yes. It has been crippled economically by Democrat policies. You just heard me say that
Who
in
does
there.
it?
I
Democrats
care,
are
because that
Americans.
tells you-
Democrats are in America,
because
so
that
therefore
tells
you
you-
just
that
admitted
tells you-
that there has been disadvantages
it
by
is not
two
race.
black
It
people
is
by
not-
Democrats
it
who
is
are
not
American.
based
You
off
just
of
admitted
the.
it.
It is not based off. You asked
No.
me if white privilege exists. The answer is white privilege. Because you're born white, that means you're going to not have this or that. It does not exist. No, it does not exist.
You just admitted that the Democrats, the boogeyman Democrats,
they're not boogeyman. They exist. Boogeyman doesn't exist.
No.
60 years
Democrats
ago.
do exist.
They did it.
So
60
boogeyman means doesn't
years ago.
exist. Just so you know, there
We're
are
talking about
Democrats.
So
today.
you admit that it exists.
60.
I don't think you're comprehending.
Yeah.
You're not.
So,
You're not
I'm
comprehending.
not sure that you are. You said
60 years ago, white people had it better than black people. Over time, there's no more systemic laws that are in place. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. What can a white person do that a black person cannot do today in today's America? Name one thing.
Well, black people.
Answer the question. Isn't that how this works?
Fucking question. Black people who smoke marijuana, black and white people smoke marijuana at the same rates. Yet a black person is 3 to 4 times more likely to be put in jail for that.
Okay.
And I know the reason why, because the police are in the urban communities. It's easier to police those communities. Sure.
Because actually, I had a girlfriend. I had a family member who got a DUI, and I had a girlfriend who got a DUI.
Just to let you know, by just saying what you're saying and standing up here and knowing what's going on through the police brutality, through injustice,
I
all
love
this stuff.
This is so, I love that behind me. There's like black people rolling their eyes, but the 2 white guys are yelling at me, telling me that I don't agree with them. This is what I love about white liberals, right? Like they know it's so important for them to sell us our oppression that they'll come up and tell us we're under grace. Just say it. Just say it.
Can you speak for all
Well, why
black
don't you
people?
stop speaking for black people? That would be great. Okay?
I'm not.
Straight.
Man, Candace Owens was mad. She was charged, She was charged. Yeah, that's what happens sometimes. When you argue with a fool, you tend to get, charged up, Yeah, because you are trying to say something, trying to express some points, some viewpoint to them, and all they just want is for you to hear their viewpoint, and that's it. How sad. That's basically just typical Democrat, How sad. I think the world has really changed, Many years ago, it didn't used to be this way. I mean, during the Ronald Reagan days, no, it wasn't like this. No. What happened to America? Oh, man. Oh, man. Such irrationalism. It's sad, especially from a grown-up man like him. Oh, man. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I think one of the dangers, that we face now, especially in this time we now live in, is the risk, that comes with brainwashing, And it happens, it's happening to a lot of people out there. And the sad thing is that the real enemy, clearly, he has completely blinded this man here. But he doesn't know it. He doesn't know it. You see? I was talking about brainwashing, Especially nowadays, looking at mainstream media, you tend to notice that anyone who tries to express a different viewpoint from these global media houses, CNN, ABC, MSNBC, they always get crushed, They always get crushed. In other words, this has given birth to cancel culture, assassination of personalities, character assassinations, banning, the banning on social platforms, all these funny things. And like I said, that machinery, that is the real enemy. That is the real enemy, you see. That is the real enemy. Because now there is a very clear separation that if you are a Republican or if you are conservative, I'm supposed to hate you. pretty much, from a Democrat point of view. I'm supposed to hate you. I shouldn't tolerate you. I should just attack you and attack you and attack you. But no. Is that what the world is gotten to? No, it shouldn't be that way. At the end of the day, we are brothers, we are sisters, we are family, we are friends, we are neighbors, we are fellow countrymen. We share the same country. Why should it get, to those extremes? It shouldn't be that way. Candace Owens is good. She's good. I remember. She said, "Why don't you stop exercising your invisible white privilege and let the black girl talk?" Oh, I could tell she was charged. She was charged. But I think it was priceless. I think it was priceless, and I think also Candace Owens she's amazing. She's a great mental strength and intelligence. She's the typical kind of person I could listen to, without ever getting bored, And I think it would be also cool, someday for her to run for office, because she's the type of person who always gets straight to the point, speak the facts, and no time for BS, It's always about the facts, and she's everything totally that the country needs. Yeah, she's an excellent woman and a role model for many young ladies out there. Absolute excellent, absolute excellent. And, back to that guy, whenever you see someone who's trying to argue with you or trying to engage in a debate, but yet not yet keep shouting and not give you an opportunity for you to also express your viewpoint, there's really no need to tolerate them or to even try to engage in a debate with those type of people, because in their minds there's already a conclusion. Their mind is already made up. Their mind is already made up, Yeah. And I think, this is such a classic liberal behavior. It's a classic liberal behavior, Yeah. Complete dogmatic adherence to their flawed way of thinking. Yeah. And refusal to listen to the other person, It's crazy. Why? Because, they don't want to tolerate anything that is different from their viewpoint or that may seem to contradict their viewpoint. Well, ladies and gentlemen, also tell me what you think. I want to hear your views also on this one. What you think about the video. And also, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. And this also helps us to grow as a channel. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time. It's bye-bye for now.